Cobra. Hey guys, it's Tychonders here doing another action figure review. Now before I proceed, just for the Cobra rules, my reviews are intended for collectors over the age of 13 plus. So what I have today to review is the brand new, as of 2020, Hasbro. Just in the stand. He does stand quite well. It's just for some reason he doesn't want to stand today, and it's probably because the area that I'm trying to do my review is a little bit soft. So it is the 2020 G.I. Joe Classified Series Destro. So he's the only Cobra figure in Wave 1 of the G.I. Joe Classified series. What G.I. Joe Classified is a new line, as of 2020, from Hasbro, of classic reimagined characters from the G.I. Joe line. The first figure being, or first Cobra figure being Destro. Technically he's not a Cobra. Destro was an arms dealer that worked for Cobra, but he's if you know anything about the lore and the history behind Destro, he had his own army faction called the Iron Grenadiers. So hopefully, if the line is successful later down the line, we might see a Iron Grenadier repaint or a complete new sculpt of the Iron Grenadier version, which is quite a different take on this. So before I go on, take a quick look at the box. So you have an image of Destro with the Cobra logo as his collar. You see the gem, his iconic metallic face that wraps around to the side. You have another larger image of that face. On the back is a really cool rendition of some of the other figures that are in the wave and some other figures that we could possibly be getting as part of Wave 2. At the very top are Alley Vipers, which is kind of strange. I would have thought they would have gone with the basic Cobra Trooper as a kind of a staple for the artwork, but they went with Alley Viper. You got Red Ninjas over in the corner. Cobra Commander sporting what looks a little like the Resolute look. There's Destro there. Baroness with a kind of her iconic black look, but also with gold trim, which is different to her usual look. There is a Night Raven, which is interesting because it shows a little pod off the top. But if you know anything about the Night Raven, the design for the actual plane here is actually the one from Rise of Cobra, which didn't have that pod. So they took a bit of artistic license with it. You got the classic hiss, Cobra fangs, what looks like the I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's from the Terradrome. It's the escape shuttle from the Terradrome. The strike, or the not Striker, the Sky Striker, the Conquest. There's the G.I. Joe version of that kind of pod. I can't remember what they called it in Rise of Cobra line. I think it was part of the Rise of Cobra and the Pursuit of Cobra line. They did a retool and called it like I think it was a Skyhawk or something like that. You have the G.I. Joe Skyhawk on this side. Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Duke, Roadblock, Gung Ho. You got the Shark, I'm forgetting all the names of the vehicles. The Dragonfly helicopter, Cobra Trouble Bubble. You got what looks like I think that's supposed to be the Mobat, but the barrel looks incredibly long for the Mobat. You got the Bridge Layer. You got the what looks like the Ice Dagger, I think it was called. The G.I. Joe kind of, it was like a replacement for the Snowcat. You have the Vamps. There's two versions of Vamps there. You got the Mauler in the center. You got the crap, I can't remember the name of it. It's the one. It's the small one. You got the Wolverine and the Havoc. What's funny is they don't show anyone in the seat for the Havoc. Would have been kind of nice if they did. You can't really see too many people in the driver's seats of vehicles except for the Cobra Bubble. And it looks like it's a Cobra Trooper, the basic Cobra Trooper, and on the Fang, it's the Air Viper, which is basically, when they released it as part of the 25th line, it came with a Cobra pilot called Air Viper. It was a basic Cobra Trooper, but with a Jump Trooper helmet painted in red. So they've gone with that for this. He is number 3 in the wave. You see the Cobra logo. Got all the legalese stuff. The interesting thing about Wave 1, well, there's 6 figures in the wave. So, actually if I flip back around the back, Wave 1 consists of Scarlet, Duke, Roadblock, Destro, and Snake Eyes. In the box for what you get, from what I've seen from online pictures, there's 6 figures in the line instead of 5. The 6th being a second version, not a second version, but a second Snake Eyes. So there's packed with two Snake Eyes. I don't think there's any difference between them. I don't think one's like a chase figure or anything like that. But that's the way the wave has been laid out. Hopefully with Wave 2 we will get some more Cobra figures. And kind of judging by the back of the box, again, if they go with a more Cobra heavy Wave 2, we could see Baroness, Cobra Commander, maybe one of the Red Ninjas, an Alley Viper, and then Gung Ho, because they seem to be the only characters that they haven't done figures for yet. Possibly if they release vehicles, some of those will come with characters. But I'm getting off the beaten track. So, for this awesome Destro, I will bring in my tape measure. And he stands around just a little around 6.5 inches tall, which makes sense because he was always a tall figure compared to the other G.I. Joes. Even the 25th anniversary figure was quite tall. He comes with 3 accessories, well technically 4 if you count this neck chain. You can kind of wiggle it off his head, but it is a separate piece on him. He comes with a large Sci-Fi Blaster, which is nicely painted. It looks kind of a little bit like his original one that came with the old 80s figure. I prefer to use it in this holster. I think this is designed for the small pistol that he comes with, this gold one. Comes with a very small pistol. I'm not sure if you can see that on the screen. He comes with a kind of small pistol. Looks like it has like a charging thing or a barrel that charges on it. He comes with what nearly every Destro should always come with, is an attaché case with the Cobra logo on it. I think his original one was just black. The 25th version one had the Mars symbol on it, which is Destro's. Basically, he's an arms dealer, and Mars is something armament research and science. I think it was military arms and research. I think it was what the acronym for. I probably butchering that, so people in the comments will probably correct me on what the Mars acronym stands for. The back of the case is the same. You got the Cobra logo. It's not painted, but it is, or sorry, it's not sort of not painted. It's done in a gloss black on the back, but it's done on with the red on the front, and it just clips closed. And when you open it up, inside there is what looks like blank money. It would have been nice if it was actually had actual denominations on it, which is kind of funny because one of the other versions of the smaller Destros came with a case with money in it, and we used nicknamed Moneybags Destro, and all the little notes in that actually had dollars and euro kind of denominations on them. I don't see why they couldn't have done that for the larger version, but there you go. And then on the other side of it, you also have a kind of computer with the with a Cobra symbol and a kind of a gloss metallic screen, just to give it appearance that it's a screen. If I just take the pistol out of his holster, so he has a separate waist belt piece as well. So it doesn't come off, it is part of the figure, but it is done separately, so when you are moving the figure around, it doesn't really get in the way too much. Articulation wise, he is chock full of articulation. I do love the head sculpt on this. He is really, really cool. It actually has sculpted details on the head, and I'm not sure if you can see that on screen, but his eyes are actually painted in with a sort of greeny blue. So articulation wise, he has a shoulder joint that can rotate around and go up thus much. He also has a butterfly joint in the shoulder, but it doesn't seem to do too much extra movement. He has a bicep swivel. He has dual jointed elbow, so you can get some good range of movement. He does have a swivel in the wrist and a hinge in the wrist, which are on ratchets, so it locks into sort of certain positions. And then you have the gun that can actually hold into his hand, which is quite nice. He has a rocker joint in the lower waist, forward and back. He has a head swivel with forward and back. He has a little bit of tilt, and he has a thing that allows you to drop the leg so it can go up, and when it's back in the neutral position it doesn't kick out as much, but it kind of drops, so you get extra position out of it. You can do splits that much. You can go forward, not back too much because of the sculpt. He has a lot of interesting details on the sculpting. His upper thigh swivel, dual jointed knees and get over 90-degree bend. He has a swivel in the boot, and he has ankle tilt with rocker joint as well. So he has forward and back on the ankle and a rocker. Overall, he's quite good. His belt will move around as well when you're positioning him, so if you want to just put it back into place, it's easy enough to do so. So he is a really cool figure, and I have a few comparisons. So here is him with the Jeff Goldblum figure from the Jurassic Park Amber collection. Here he is with one of the older Black Widow figures, if I can get her to stand properly. Just need to straighten up her foot, I would imagine. If she will stand. So you can see a height difference there. There he is with, I think it's Endgame cap, or is it Infinity War cap? It's one of the caps from the more recent films. There he is with Han Solo from the Black series. So you can see he does stand a good bit taller than a lot of figures because he is a taller character. And then just for another size comparison, because I have him handy, let's take the weapon out and move Jeff back a bit, and Cap. Here he is with, I thought that was going to happen. Here he is with one of the Legendary series Fortnite figures. So overall, he's a really good figure. He's the only one I picked up so far. I did pick him up early off eBay, and I did pay quite a bit for him. There are a few sellers that have them in hand now at the moment. The actual street date, I think, is June or July for this line, so it hasn't officially been released yet. Some sellers are selling them early, but if you just hunt around, you might be able to get them. You can buy them on Big Bad Toy Store. You can get the entire Wave 1 on Big Bad Toy Store, or you can buy them individually. I think everyone is still available individually on Big Bad Toy Store, and if you check other e-tailers, you should be able to find them there at the time of this recording, that is. So there you go, guys. Quick video review for Destro from the G.I. Joe Classified series line. Hope you enjoyed this review, and as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.